So I've been practicing in the monastic arts.
That's awesome, dude. Me too, right here.
Awesome, yeah. So what kind have you been into?
I have been practicing so that I never get touched.
That doesn't sound that great.
No, hit by an enemy.
Oh, I've been practicing the way of the fist. Because I hit hard.
Oh, that's way less disgusting.
Hey everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm Krug.
And today we're going to be talking about the monk from the Pathfinder 2nd edition for real play tests, actual play, wait, no, I don't know what we are anymore.
Close enough. First, we're gonna get into the basics of the monk. What is it? Well, the monk is the best archetype in any video game ever created. It's the best Pokemon in all of the Pokemon games, and it's the best cooking ingredient in all of your food. The monk is awesome. If the monk were to render this very video, starting from beginning to end, it can render it before you say that this is not an unbiased look at the monk, because I love it so much.
Where does the monks excel at? Well, that's either dexterity or strength based off of your choice. So you can go the way of dexterity, have additional higher AC, be able to dodge. You have your
stealth and all these other cool like dex-based features.
Or you can go strength and just hit as hard as holy hell.
Yeah, and there's also an entire brawler tree that takes advantage of having high strength. So if you want to go down that tree, strength is the way to go for sure.
But where does it fail at?
It fails kind of in some unique areas.
Okay.
One, you start with no weapon training and no armor training. Armor training, you probably shouldn't even try to get.
Yeah, I
because
mean,
a lot of your feats are reliant on you not wearing armor. And so trying to spec into it, not for the monk, just stay away. Weapons, on the other hand, you can use. Like, for example, there's a level 1 feature you can get that's called Monastic Weapon Training, which allows you to use weapons that are suitable for a monk, like a staff or whatever. The bow, I don't know. They have weird names and I don't know them. But even though you can spec into it, it requires you to spec into it. It's an investment as opposed to, I think every other class gets weapon training, at least something, like simple weapons. We want to know what you guys think about being unarmed and unarmored. Do you think it makes you weak? Do you think it makes you boring? Let us know down in the comments. And if you do think it makes you weak and boring, what the f is wrong with you? You can put that down there too. Weirdo. As for stats, I don't really think there's a clear winner. I think a lot of the stats are very useful for a monk. But when I played the level 1 monk, which, I mean, to be fair, level 1 doesn't really give you a good indication of much of anything. I decided to play a level 1 monk with 8 charisma, and that ended up working fine. So.
And I mean, the big thing that everyone at least was complaining about when we were talking about charisma on the fighter was the fact that charisma is based off, like, you use your charisma to determine how many magical items you can use.
Resonance points.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's still, like, you're not going to be using a ton of magical items, in my opinion, as a monk, even as you get higher and higher.
I don't agree with that at all.
You don't think so?
I think things that boost your speed and things that boost your evasion and give you better saving throw results, like all those things are super useful.
I think it's useful
on every martial class.
But what I'm saying is that I don't think it still puts it into a class where you have to spec hard into it. Because resonant points are also, isn't it a charisma modifier and your level?
Yes.
So if you're level 5, you get to use 5 magical items. Or even if you have an 8 and it's your charisma modifier, which is a -1, you're still using 4 magical items at level 5. That's still a lot of magical items.
And then also, like, the stat doesn't have to stay that way for the rest of the game, right? Like, you can progress that stat upward. Really, you're just kind of putting yourself at a lower number for the beginning, maybe mid-game. But by the time you're in late game and you've had all these ability score increases, like, you could bump it up if you need it more. But it's just something that I think, based on the campaign and based on like where you're going, if you start with a low charisma, it's not gonna hurt you. What else do you get as a monk? You get the stance dance. It made you do the boogie dance all the way to France? No. The stance dance is my adorable harkening back to Wildstar that I use to refer to characters with stances. You get to have a multitude of different kind of combat forms that you can enter during combat, and those modify the way that you fight. For example, there's Crane Stance, which modifies your attack and gives you extra AC, which is really cool, but some monk feats also kind of build on top of that stance and give you additional features that you can use while you're in that stance. And they're really cool. Like, they're not only are they really like, they feel strong and useful, but they're also very flavorful to the stance. For example, like the wolf stance has like a pounce that you can like drag somebody back.
Okay.
It's very interesting the way that the stances fit with the thing you're supposed to be emulating.
Sure.
And they all feel very strong. I like them a lot. You could also go down the brawling route like we mentioned earlier. This is the strength-based monk where you can grapple people, sleeper hold people, triple reverse 360 suplex, ultra nova.
I don't think that's a thing.
Nope, probably not.
Resilience on display. Whoa!
And you're going to get increased speed as you level up as well. At level 20, you're going to have an additional 35 feet on your speed, which by itself, 35 feet is already stronger than the most.
Than the fastest character.
Yeah,
Playable player character.
Yeah, ancestry based off of your ancestry. So adding another 35 feet at level 20 is insane.
You basically become a Ferrari.
Well, and here's the thing is like rough terrain, which I think Paizo's kind of pushing like us to use
Making it more
with the ranger and stuff like that. Like, hey, guess what? Monk don't care.
You're gonna have my, and there's like actually features you can take that make rough terrain less of a problem. There's one of the stances is just like, yeah, rough terrain doesn't matter anymore. It's dragon stance. I remembered all that. I'm so happy. Lastly, we're gonna highlight Indomitable Technique, which is level 20. It's going to be very strong, but keep in mind it's level 20. If you fail a saving throw or get hit by an attack, you can reduce the degree of success of the hit of the attack by 1, or increase your degree of success for the saving throw by 1. At will. No use limits. It's a reaction. Basically the use limit is it is your reaction for that round. But you can do it as many times as you want per day. You just choose to like not fail all day long.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, that is a great thing. All in all, the monk is very, very fun to play. Very, very kind of fast-paced and upbeat, I guess you could say. And it feels tactical and it feels like cerebral without being too complex, like a wizard having to like, oh, I'm gonna heighten this spell, I'm gonna use these components. Like it doesn't have an infinite number of variables.
Sure.
But at the same time, it feels like if you're out of position, you're gonna be, destroyed. If you're, taking too many attacks of opportunity because you're running around a lot. Like there's a lot of things to think about, but they're more straightforward. They're more readily kind of apparent to you.
Okay.
And I think it's a really good class. I really do. And if you're gonna just go back and watch the first video we did on the monk, just ignore it. It's not my opinion anymore.
Well, why don't you head down to the comments and let us know what you think of the monk. While you guys are down there, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell icon if you want to see, notifications for all of our future content. You can head over to Twitter and talk to us. You can talk to me about the monk. Probably best person to talk to is Krug, but if you want to still talk to me there, it's at IndigoQT.
And you can get me at QueueTimes on Twitter. If you say anything bad at the monk, I'm gonna you in the you can also reach both of us at _QueueTimes on Twitter or at QueueTimes on Instagram. We've been GameGorgon. We'll see you guys next time.